Hey, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. I'm Alex, the Comic Recorder. Thank you so much for clicking play on this video or joining live if you do so in a moment. But today I want to talk about my experiences or lack thereof, or just learning about mid-grade grading for comic books. And actually, to talk about the wide range of subjective grading that a single book can have. There's actually a wide range is what I'm looking at on the screen. And this is not coming from me personally, but this is kind of in response to the video that I just released, the CGC video that I recorded a couple days ago. And been getting some playful flack from some friends in the community, which is it's awesome. Love the community, love you guys, love everyone that commented. Thank you so much. I would rather see a comment than a thumbs down, actually. So thank you so much for commenting, razzing, whatever, and it's all in fun. So I appreciate it. Backseat driver's in the house. Good to see you, backseat driver. And he actually just says that he just finished watching that video. So you are fresh. You'll be able to help. You'll be able to see what my thoughts are on this. And so I've got a nice selection. I just picked out a couple books this morning. I was going through the safe and I picked out a few books that are all kind of comparable. Now this book was from '62. That's Fantastic Four, number 4 from 1962. Now this is 8 years before this book. So this is from 1970. Green Lantern 76, 1970. So I'm trying to pick out books in comparable age range. This is from 72. So this is 2 years older than this book. This X-Men 94 is from 1975. So it's 5 years older, 3 years older. And then this one is 70. So it's comparable in age to this Green Lantern. Good morning. What's up, Fazil? Hopefully I said that right. Fazil. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Steve Lewin, Lewin, good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Love the videos, man. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it, guys. Just having some fun this morning. This is in response to all the razzing that I've been getting on my video that I released yesterday. All in fun. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I love the comments. I love the razzing. That's what friends do. They razz each other. They give each other a hard time. And I am the first to self-deprecate. I'm the first to say, man, I suck at grading. But here is a little bit of research and education and stuff that I've known about grading, especially mid-grade grading. And a lot of people that talk about grading is it's so easy to grade, 9.0 and above, or 9.4 to 9.8. Sometimes that's easy to grade because it's like, if a book is flawless, you're probably going to get a 9.8 or a 9.6. That's just one little grade, very small difference in grade there. Now, also 3.0 and down is sometimes pretty darn easy to do. I can spot a 2.5 pretty easily. But if you give me a 4.0 to a 6.0, it is pretty tough. Now, I do have a 4.0 right here. So I grabbed a 4.0. This is the first appearance of Mara. This is from 1963. So we're going to look at a 4.0 all the way to a 7.0 and just kind of look at some of the differences. Now, of course, there's going to be instant eye appeal, but that's not what I want to talk about directly today. So everyone, thanks so much for watching. I don't expect anybody to be here, but just going to have some fun. I know some of the guys that are really big graders that I look up to in the community. Cougar Comics, I would love to see his thoughts. I've watched a lot of his videos, actually. Cougar Comics, ETA Nick, a lot of these really, really experienced good graders in the community. But you don't have to feel bad if you're not experienced. I don't feel bad that I'm not experienced as them. I didn't get a lot of these books graded. I bought these ones graded. Now, I did get the Hawkman 4 graded. I did get these, the Green Lantern and the Ghost Rider graded, but then I bought everything else. I bought the Jimmy Olsen, I bought the Fantastic Four, bought the X-Men, and I bought the Aquaman. So let's take a pause real quick, find out how does it sound in the chat? Could the volume go up? Could the volume go down? Does it sound okay? It's just a good Saturday morning. Love waking up early on Saturday mornings. Like, it's super tough to wake up at 6 o'clock on a Thursday, but wake me up. I can wake up no problem on a Saturday morning, man, because I get up, get myself some coffee. Like, I feel like Bueller here drinking some coffee. So I get some coffee made, and I do comic book stuff. Whether I read a comic book, whether I read a graphic novel, or whether I just go look at comics in the collection, watch YouTube videos. Love this time by myself to just hang out and watch stuff. Hey, Dr. Von Chill is in the house. Great to see you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Dr. Von Chill is a great experience collector in the community, and definitely one of those guys that you just look up to and just think is such a rad guy. Love Dr. Von Chill. Really, really missed the Wednesday night chat with Luther Manning and Reaper Tate. We're talking about grading this morning. Backseat Driver says, just got 12 books back from CGC and was pretty spot on all his guesses. But he didn't include a single grader's note. Okay, which is frustrating. So those must all be higher grade books. Really excited. Looking forward to watching that video. Volume is good. Thank you, Backseat Driver. We've got Rob Snyder. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And then Steve says it sounds good. We'll get into the meat of this video real soon. Hi, everyone. I hope you are all well. Captain UK, Pop Culture Fun. What's going on? Thank you so much for being here. Man Cave Chronicles, good to see you. Nice. Good to see you. And then 10:30 p.m., 10:30 at night. So thanks for staying up with us. Really appreciate it. I love the Australian viewers, man. We've got a great Australian audience for the community. We've got a bunch of great guys from Australia. Hopefully you guys are doing well over in Australia, keeping safe and being healthy. All right, I'm going to screen share. This is the Overstreet. So a lot of the comments were on the video. And like I said, all awesome comments. Love you guys. Thank you so much for participating in the video in the comment section on my last video. If you haven't watched the last video, check it out. It's on getting some of these books back. So a little spoiler alert. I got these 2 books back in that, and then I got one more. So check that video out. A lot of the comments were get the Overstreet. I have the regular Overstreet book, and there's some tips on grading in there, and I'm going to share one of those screenshots with everybody. Hey, Superhero Reviews, what is going on? What are you doing up so early? It's good to see you. Or Superior Hero Reviews. My goodness, what is going on? Good to see you. All right. Let me screen share this because this comes out of the CGC or Overstreet. Excuse me. It's time to screen share. All right. Hopefully everyone can see this okay. Let me move my screen over. And then this one over. I think all you guys can see is this Overstreet suggested a number of allowable defects per grade. Okay, so I'm sorry that this top part is sideways, but what I really want to do is just touch on some of my learnings in this, and then look at this graph right here. the one of the most awesome guys in the community, King of the Golden State. That guy's collection is, oh my gosh, I got to stop real quick. Tony Sanders, bro. You know, I had to support one of the best in the community. Dude, I appreciate you, man. Sending some stuff off to CGC and CVCS this month. Tony Sanders, thank you so much. If you have not subscribed to Tony Sanders, love this guy. Love his collection. He is fantastic, you guys. Tony Sanders came on the scene like a wild man and just took the place over. Love the guy. And thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. You do not have to do that. Nobody ever has to do that. I really appreciate you, man. But check out his channel. Check out his stuff. Man, I want to see him do some top books in his collection video because he's got some incredible books. So thank you so much. Looking at mid-grade grading right here. Okay, one of the things on this side, now I'm going to have to go to my cheater screen here. I've got a copy of this on my book, or excuse me, on my iPad right here. One thing in this top section, it's right in this area. Now they don't talk much in this very limited article in the regular Overstreet. A lot of people are talking about getting the grading guide by Overstreet. So it's a separate book than the price guide, but the price guide does have some hints and tips about grading to get you started, to get me started. So this is talking about how there are, it is very subjective in how to grade a book. Let me see, where am I at here? Okay, it says in this bottom section here, actually, number of allowable defects. Says accompanying chart provides some idea of the estimated number of accumulated defects allowed per grade. Please remember that quantity of defects is only part of the story. So if we count up all the grades, quantity is only part of it. Or if we count up all the defects, quantity of those defects is only part of it. For example, a book with 2 or 3 minor defects may grade significantly higher than a book with only 1 very severe defect. So if we're thinking about grading, there's a lot of different things that go into grading. It's a lot of subjectivity with different grades. A lot of subjectivity with the severity of defects. Okay, so now I want to talk about this chart right here. The red line is the maximum. All these little dots on here, there's corresponding number of defects on this axis, and then a grade or suggested grade on this line right here. So you've got gem mint all the way down here. No defects whatsoever. Absolutely perfect, 0 defects. And there's no exclusions to that. There's only one thing you can have, and it's 0 defects. Now, a mint, so a 9.9, you can have up to 1 defect. All right, and that is mint there. Okay, so what we're talking about here is these are like your 9.4s to 9.9s right here. These are going to be your 3.0s to like 1.0 or 0.5. Now look at the wide range here. As you get lower in your grades, there's a huge variance. There's a huge variance in what they will allow for defects. Thanks again, Tony Sanders, for that super chat. Really do appreciate you, brother. For a 0.5, you can have up to 25 defects. You can have as little as, what is this, 15, 16 defects. So you can have a variance of 16 defects to 25 defects and still get a 0.5. So this is your low grade right here. This is your high grade right here. The red line is maximum number of defects allowed, suggested number of allowable defects. And the blue line here is the minimum number of defects allowed. So if you have 5 defects in a book, you could potentially get, anywhere from a near mint minus, which would be, it's going to be your 9.0. You can get a 9.0 with 5 defects, or you can get, a very fine. You can get a 7.5 or 8.0 to 9.0. This is what I'm trying to say, guys. There is a huge variance in grades. So one of the things yesterday on my video, and we'll look back at this, and I'm going to need your help too. I'm going to need your help, you guys. Add to stream. There we go. I'm going to need your help because we're going to look at some examples here. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee like Bueller does in his videos. Does anyone have any comments or anything about that before we go on? Yeah. Any relation? Tony. Congrats on the Avengers 8. Thanks, Iron Galactus. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Iron Galactus, are you overseas as well? I can't remember. Comment down below what part of the world you're from, because I feel like you're overseas as well. There's a guy from Australia in here earlier. Faisal. All right. When I got this book, and I just did an unboxing of this Green Lantern 76, I guessed that this was a 4.0. And then it turned out to be a 6.5. And dude, I'm so ecstatic. I'm so pumped about this. I'm going to get my cheater screen going. So I was so super pumped. Oh, he said he was overseas. Okay, now he's back in the good old USA. Theory, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining the Saturday morning once in a lifetime live show. Love waking up early on Saturday mornings and just doing some chats. So I've got my let's add this back in real quick so you guys can see. I'm looking at this as well. Captain Kirk Productions. We are talking about grading, man. Captain Kirk and I had a lot of conversation yesterday about mid-grade grading and how bad. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it first, and then I'm going to just completely negate it. How sucky we are at mid-grade grading. But now I'm going to tell you that mid-grade grading is not easy, and there's a huge variance. This book could either be a 4.0 or a 6.5, and it's not just a simple thing. It's completely subjective. If this would have been handed to another grader, now I know there's multiple graders that look at books, and then there's a final grader at the very end. Hey, what's up? Mega Evolved 1, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for also joining from Australia. Captain Kirk is here as well. We're both excited to learn about grading. So if you handed this to another grader, and they would have graded this a 5.0, and then the end grader, and he would have given his probably, I don't know how it works, but he would have passed it on to the final grader or the quality check guy. And if the quality check guy or the lead grader maybe would have said, no, that is not a 5.0. That is a 6.0 easily. You better let's take a look at this again. So I believe that's how it works. I know there's multiple layers at CGC, whether there's just one or two layers, or whether there's just two layers. I know that there's some kind of quality check or a second look at a book. But at least that's what I remember from them touting. So I'm going to look at this one more time, and I'm going to look at it on my screen as well. So from a 4.0, which I thought this was a 4.0, how do I do both? No. Okay, but I want that bigger. There we go. So from a 4.0 very good condition to a fine plus 6.5 grade condition, that's where I was separated, and there's a variance. And let's talk about variance in that. So let's look at this screen one more time. And let's say, so the blue line, remember, this is in the Overstreet guide. The blue line here, and a disclaimer too, I know that CGC, they use the Overstreet grading, but they go above and beyond that. They have their own criteria as well. So 4.0 grading would be very good, which is right here. This is very good. So you can have, what is this? 10 defects. I should just use my pen. You can have 10 defects minimum, and a maximum of 15 defects. So that's this line. Very good right here. So that's what I guessed. I guess this book was a 4.0. Now what they graded it as was a fine plus. So fine plus is right here in this area. And you can have a minimum of 8 defects or a maximum of 11 defects. So see how there is overlap from here to here. Yep, from very fine from fine plus to very good. There is an overlap. There is an overlap here where you can have the maximum number of allowable defects and the minimum number of allowable defects. So for me to guess 4.0 and for them to grade it 6.5, there is this variance here of allowable defects. So let's take a look at this book. Stop sharing. So it's not out of the realm. Hey, what's going on, Matt? Count Von Strange, my brother with the amazing aperture camera. He must be using a DSLR of some sort. And I think he is. I know he is because he takes awesome pictures of figures that look realistic in environments, like outside environments. Awesome stuff, man. And such a great guy. He is one of my first and only people in the community that I've met in real life. I've met Paul from Midwest Comic Man, met a couple other guys in the community as well, but Matt was definitely the first. And man, we've hung out a couple times. We've hung out at a con. We've hung out in a shop. Great dude. Love the dude. Okay, so just talked about how there's a variance of allowable defects. So to say that this, I think this is a 4.0 and CGC said it was a 6.5. I'm not saying they're wrong. Trust me. I love that this is graded a 6.5, but another person can look at this book and grade this a 4.0 or 4.5. And you can't say that they suck at grading because there is a variance. Now let's look at, there's the maximum number of defects for a 6.5 and the minimum number of defects for a 4.0. They're both are acceptable in that grade range, 4.5, 4.0 to 6.5. Hopefully that makes sense based on that chart. And I can show that chart again in here in a second. So let's take a look closer at this book. I'm going to bring this up really close and we're going to look at this section up here. Now the question is, so now that we've got that discussed, the question here is, what's an allowable defect? Now I know the book, I know the Overstreet Guide to Grading goes a lot more in depth on 1-inch spine creases with color break. They go into spine breaks with a certain amount of width and all that stuff. I know they talk a lot more about that, but let's just look at this and you all can help me in the chat. Mr. Q is in the house. What's going on, Mr. Q? Thank you so much for being here, you guys. It's good to see you. 18 in the chat. And thank you so much again, Tony Sanders, for the super chat earlier of $10. Man, you did not have to do that. So let's look at this corner up here. I'm going to use my pen on the other side. You've got color loss on the top. Okay, guys, that's not those white spots there right behind this new. So it starts like right in this area right here. Those are, you know, damage. That's damage. That's a defect. And then you've got multiple little color breaking bends. So there's one there. And there's a few there, as you can see. Okay. So that's just that one corner. Now, how would you count that as defects in a book? Really hard to do this. So is this one little spot here one defect? Or would you call the top edge right here in this corner one defect? One defect for that entire top edge of the book. And then you go into the color breaks. So maybe we can count that as 1, 2, 3 defects. So let's just say 3 defects right here. Let's just say those are 3 defects. 3 defects right up here. There's the top edge, there's a crease right here, and a crease right there. That's 3 defects, okay? Now, there is a defect right there. You see that color break right here? That's a color break. Some kind of fold. Maybe someone, how you get those kind of breaks, or maybe someone pinched the page a little bit and caused a color break right there, or folded it the other way as they were trying to open the book and then caused a break in the color right there. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1 down there. 5. That's a color crease there. This corner over here, let's say that's 6. Okay, now we get to, there's another one right there, right by that word bubble. Let's say that's 7. So let's say that's 7. Now we get to the spine. Now I'm not going to count the back because the back is pretty, I'm going to give 1 to the back. It's pretty nice. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 so far. We're going to go 8 because of the back. I'm just being generous. There are some color breaking areas back there, but it's like color breaking on the dirty parts. You know what I'm saying? There are ticks on the back. No, the back of the book does account towards grading. Hey, Jambo, what is going on, Jambo? What is going on there? Irene, good to see you. Apologize for the butchering of the name, but it's awesome that you have got the comic book there for Iron Man. So that's awesome. Iron Man in German. So we've got 7, 8. I counted 8, just being generous. One defect for the back. Alrighty. And now we look at the spine. So the spine is where the majority of the spine breaks are. So we counted 8 so far. Let's go ahead and count 9, 10, 11. Let's say 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's just say a conservative 15. Now, that's not me grading hard. I think I could grade a lot harder on this book as far as number of allowable defects. So we're saying 15 defects here. And I'm missing some. I didn't even count these individually, which I don't know if you would count these individually or if you just say 1. The spine sucks, 1. You know what I'm saying? So we counted 3 on the top, 1 right here, 1 right here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we gave some allowable defects here on the side. Now let's look back at our chart. Number of allowable defects, 15. Now I didn't count all of the spine ticks, so it could be more than 15, but thank you so much. You also have nice looking books, Alex. Thank you very much, Jambo. You, sir, have nice looking books. And I will ask you right here, if you're not subscribed to Jambo, check him out. Definitely check him out. Where do you get like your Wonder comics that say Jambo at the top? Who does those custom art for you? Do you print them off in Photoshop? Do you work on them in Photoshop? How do you get those? Those look freaking awesome. Love those books. And I actually did spend 2 of my books this year for my top 20 want list were Wonder, 2 of the Wonder comics to complete the Terra set. So the Space Pirate Terra. So I completed, what was it? 16 to 20. Love those books, man. Love them. All right, let's go back to screen sharing this. So remember, guys, we said 15. I got a lot of razzing on my last video that I just released yesterday and loved it. Loved it, you guys. Love you guys. Can't say it enough. You guys are the reason why I do videos. I want to document the stuff. That's why I started. And I loved watching YouTube videos. But I wanted to document. Wanted to document my stuff because I love going back and looking like, what was I collecting in 2016? What was I collecting in 2017? All right, so I said 15. So if you guys can see on this side, there's a number of suggested number of allowable defects per grade. On this side, you've got number of defects. On the bottom, you've got grades from Gem Mint 10.0 to 0.5 on this side, on the right side. So here's where we were looking again. Fine plus was that 6.5, which the book got graded 6.5. I guessed VG, which is 4.0. So from here all the way to here, there's lots of grades in between. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grades in between where I guessed 4.0 and where they got the 6.5. CGC graded 6.5. So I got RAS, which I'm the first one to razz myself. Love honesty. Love having fun. You should hear Comicholics and I play Fortnite. We played Fortnite probably almost every single night of the week. Comicholics, Wayne and Jess and I, we play Fortnite and we razz each other. It is so much fun. Love it. Okay. So if you guys could just take a look. The red line, once again, is the maximum number of allowable defects per that grade. And then the blue line is the minimum. So I guessed 4.0, they gave it a 6.5. So from VG to Fine Plus. And I'll be the first one to say that I sucked at guessing the grades. But here's my explanation of why. So we just said that there were 15 potential defects on that comic book. Now, would anyone disagree with that in the chat or in the comments? Let me know what you think, because I just pointed out all the different defects. The maximum number, which is right here, the maximum number of defects allowed for a very good, according to the Overstreet guide, is 15 defects. That is the suggested number of allowable defects right there. 15 defects. Right here is the very good 4.0. Very good is 4.0. The maximum number of suggested allowed defects per that grade is 15. Now it got graded fine. It got graded Fine Plus. The maximum number of allowed defects for Fine Plus is 11 defects. They may count spine ticks close together. Good suggestion, Mega. Good suggestion. I probably agree with that too. So let's go back. Let's go back to this. I guessed just now at looking at this. So we did leave out several. So this top edge right here, I'm just counting as one defect. This color break right here above the comic code, 2 defect. This one right here, this cluster of color breaks right there, counted as 3. Counted this one right here. There is a color breaking crease right there, like a pinch in the book. Called that 4. There's another one right here, 5, right by that word bubble, 5. There's a corner crease down here. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6. There's a blunted corner right here with color loss, 7. I just gave the back of the book an overall defect, 1, so 8. And then let me count the total. So that's 8. Let me count the total number of spine ticks, and we can just assume that not every spine tick is always counted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. As you can see, there's a crap ton of spine ticks on this book. You see those? So we can all agree that my conservative guess at 15 defects, 15 allowed defects. One more time. According to Overstreet, let's make this full. According to Overstreet, 4.0, very good, is what I graded this book as. The total number of allowable defects is 15 for very good 4.0. So my guess was an educated guess. My guess wasn't some throw out recklessly, but like the Overstreet even says itself, books are created, or books defects are different. They're all subjective defects. There could be 2 or 3 defects in a book, and that would grade higher than a book with 1 major defect. So you can't just say, since this book has 3 defects, it's automatically going to be a near mint. Let's see, it's automatically going to be a 9.4. You can't say that because they're created differently. And there's subjectivity that goes on when you're looking at those books. Let's just take a look at some of these other books. This one's a mystery to me. Now, one other disclaimer. CGC has been doing this for years and years and years. Okay, they've got decades worth of experience grading books. I am not saying that I'm a better grader than CGC. If they want to grade this book a 6.5, they can grade that book a 6.5, and it doesn't matter what I think, because I sent the book to them because they are the professionals. I am the novice, amateur, noob at this. I'm the hack grader. But based on what I know, I've got to educate myself based on the tools that I have available to me, that Overstreet guide there. Those are the tools that are available to me. And so that's what I can do. They've got tools available to them and years of experience rifling through hundreds and thousands of this book right here. They've got thousands on the CGC census. So they've graded thousands of this book. They know that this book is what is a 6.5, what's a 4.0. And the overall appeal of this book really is nice. So I'm not arguing. Now, if we look at this 6.5, I think this 6.5 looks so much better. Looks so much better front and back than that book. The back is extremely. There is Cougar Comics. Cougar Comics, I shouted you out at the very beginning of this video. I shouted you out because you are the expert. We're gonna go back and pause now that we have an expert in the chat. And I would say you are an expert because you've got years and years of grading. You've got years and years of experience in comic book collecting. So I look up to you in the comic book community as a mentor to us in the grading department. Okay, so we're gonna go share the screen again. So Cougar Comics, I look at the suggested number of allowable defects. I counted about 15 defects in here. And so I want to talk to you about, so I guess this book was a 4.0, which is this very good. A very good, the variance in a very good is 15 maximum allowable defects. And the bottom number is 10. So for a 4.0, you can have 10 defects all the way up to 15 defects. Hopefully this is making sense, guys. If it does make sense to you and if you agree with me, go ahead and hit that like button. I would love to see this kind of support that we get. Now, CGC graded this a 6.5, fine plus. So I said it was a 4.0. They said it was a fine plus 6.5. The minimum number of allowable defects are 6, and the maximum number of allowable defects are 11. So stop sharing. Comic Head 84 is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Okay, so I counted the. Let me get Cougar's opinion on this. So this top area right here, that top area has color loss. So I counted that as one defect. There's a color breaking crease right there. I counted that 2. There's a color breaking crease or 2 in that corner. I counted that as 3. Yeah. Okay, so that scale is mostly overlooked and somewhat confusing. I agree, but so I counted 3. 1, 2, 3. A defect right here, 4. A defect right here, 5. Bottom corner, you've got a crease there, 6. Oh yeah, what do we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where was my 7th? 7th was in this corner right here, 7. Overall in the back, 8. Just gave it one big grade. And then you've got multiple spine ticks. So I said, I mean, you've got more. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I just said 15. So that's why I guessed 4.0. I mean, that's an educated guess based on the tools that I have. Now looking at compared to another, like this is a 6.0. So this is another thing that I saw in one of Cougar's video. What is the size of the defect? This is where size of defect comes in. Good call. But I would say that there's more than 15 individual defects on this book. And I just conservatively said, this looks to me, based on my experience, a 4.0. It has similar defects to this book. There's a color breaking bend or crease right here. The bottom corner looks pretty good. There's a little bit of color loss there, not too much. That corner looks very similar to this corner. And then the corner creases are very similar on this book. So if you see that. So it's not a bad idea to look at another book that's somewhat comparable. This is a very black cover. And so a lot of these errors. The back looks very similar in color and defect. And so lots of things went into my thoughts on, might be something inside. Yeah. Might be something inside on this Aquaman 11. Definitely agree. But according to that Overstreet, 15 allowable defects is what I saw. That's the maximum a number of allowable defects for a 4.0. That's just why I thought this was about a 4.0. So, and I guess one of my last points too is Comic Head 84 says he just picked up an Overstreet guide to grading in an effort to sharpen his grading as well. I think everyone could sharpen their grading, even at a master level like Cougar Comics. Probably has something that he would learn too if he was doing some studying. But like I said, here is last time I'll share this screen and then we'll just look at some comics. Very good was where I thought this book was. The variance here in this grading was, what did I say? 10. Minimum number of defects, 10 defects. Maximum number 15. So there could be anywhere from 10 to 15 and you can get a 4.0. You can get a 4.0 and this is suggested for subjective grading. So a number of defects, subjective, when I look at a book and I see a defect, that might not be a huge of a deal to somebody else or somebody with more experience. Fine plus 6.5 is what it got graded. You can have anywhere from, what is this, 6? I think that's 6. 6 minimum defects with a total of 11, maximum 11 to get that. So let's stop sharing that. All right. Oh man, Rag, what's up? Rag's got Rag grades high grade books, high grade books. So good to see you, Rag. Mighty Comics and Collectibles, Mr. Unknown Comics guy. So there's Rag, there's Mighty Comics. There's Cougar Comics. Good to see all you guys. Fazil and Jambo. It's good to see everybody. Hopefully that makes sense. Just trying to explain my thoughts on why I thought a book was a 4.0 when it turned out to be a 6.5, and just some evidence on the tools that we have. If we didn't have tools to grade, there would be no rhyme or reason. It would just be like, I'm looking at this 6.5 compared to a Green Lantern, another book of the same exact Green Lantern, and say this was a Green Lantern, same grade, we'd look at the defects on that, compare it to that, and that's how I'd say, okay, that's a 6.5. It's Bueller time with the coffee. Shout out to Bueller. This book, in my opinion, it's got a dirtier back. This one could definitely be cleaned. Man, this one could be cleaned. Maybe that would bump it up a grade. But this one doesn't have as many defects, in my opinion. The defects aren't as high as that one. Oh, this says, the CGC grade harder on modern books versus Silver Age and Bronze? That's a good question. There's probably more people, better people in the chat that, hey, Kingdom Comics, good to see you, Tito. Good to see you, brother. I'm about to wrap it up, honestly. If you guys want to watch this back, more than welcome. It's going to be left up. I might leave it up unless it gets like people think I'm trying to defend myself, which I'm kind of trying to defend myself, but also at the same time letting you guys know I love the comments in the last video. I'm just showing that there's a lot of, okay, so we're looking at these kind of defects. This is the Jimmy Olsen 134. Minimal spine ticks. I mean, the spine ticks are color breaking on this one, but they're less noticeable than this book. And this one got a 6.5. That one got a 6.0. Now there's all sorts of things that go into grading. There's interior pages, there's quality on the back, there's dirtiness, Jambo says that, I think, this is what Jambo says. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, definitely. Kruger Comics, I take everyone's opinion at heart. That's how you learn. Absolutely. I think CGC is a little bit more forgiving on Golden Age. I think that, I feel like there's a different criteria. There's a different page quality too. Sometimes my Golden Age books have that really like sturdy page, which I feel sometimes is different. Not sure what's that in reference to. I think bronze and sorry guys. King of Comics says, I think bronze and silver has leaner grading. Okay. There's leaner silver, there's leaner grading on silver and bronze. Okay. This is Rag says the more you submit, the more you will learn too. Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. But you can watch back the video. Now, this book is a question to me. Love this book and love the grade and love the page quality. So this is Fantastic Four, number 4. It's graded at 6.5 with white pages. So I'm very, very thankful for this book. The back of this book is cleaner than both those other 6.5 and 6.0. The back of this book is cleaner with far fewer defects. I think the spine of this book looks fantastic. You're just going to have to take my word because it doesn't really translate much onto this camera. Far fewer spine ticks. There's one. Okay, so this is where it comes into play. One major. There's a little bit of peeling there. You see that little piece right there? It should be attached to the front of the spine. So maybe they consider that more of a major defect than a spine tick. Maybe that's where that one came in. Oh, Cougar, I wish I still had that, man. I got rid of that book, but I love that book. Dude, I would take that book back in that condition, man. Cougar Comics. That book was so good. I actually traded that for a big old stack of Fantastic Four Silver Age for my run. The top of this book looks very, very sharp edge. Oh, and here's another defect on this side, which maybe they consider this more of a, you see that defect right there. It's a little bit of a rip. So, Brandon Stoyansky, what's going on? So anyways, I think this book looks a lot better than these other 6.5, 6.0. I think that book looks a lot better than those ones. So we're just talking about mid-grade grading right here. A lot of 6.0. There's a 7.0, which I think this book looks great. I think it looks better than those other books, but it's got very similar defects to some of those other ones. See right by Nightcrawler's hand, there are some color breaking. You guys might know better than me, but is that caused by when you like open the book like that? Maybe you pinch the page and break the color, or pinching it. Some kind of like pinching that way or pulling this way, I thought would do that. There's a little bit of a color breaking crease right there, a little bit of a color breaking crease right there. So I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe. And then maybe very clean back. Back looks great. So maybe 8 total. So if I look at the Overstreet allowable defects, does 8 defects allow for a 7.0? 7.0 is fine to very fine. So it would be right here, fine to very fine. So we're going minimum number of defects, 6. Fine to very fine. Maximum number of allowable defects, 10. So if I counted 7 to 8, defects on that book, that's definitely within the realm of a 7.0. Fine to very fine. And that reader crease, yep. Kingdom, I submitted this Green Lantern, that Hawkman, and this Ghost Rider. So I submitted 2 6.5s and that 6.0. Didn't know what to expect on that one. I just wanted to get it graded. I thought it would actually be a little bit nicer. But I'm really happy with a 6.0 on that Hawkman. So I did overgrade on that one because I did think it looks nicer than a 6.0. Thought that was going to be a 4.0, which is within the realm of allowable defects for a 4.0 to a 6.0. There's so much variance there. Like if this is a 6.5, less number of allowable defects, and this is a 4.0, they still do. There is still some variance in there, or there's still some similarities in there to where it could be either a 4.0 or a 6.5. That's why, you guys, if everyone was an expert grader and got every single grade spot on, would we really need CGC? I mean, I love the presentation. I love their expert grading. But if I was an expert grading and grading was super simple, you guys could just trust me when I said that this was a 4.0, or you guys could just trust me if I said that this was a 6.5. If grading was super simple, then we could just easily say, if there are 10 spine ticks, a crease right there, that is automatically a 4.0, or that is automatically a 6.5, it would be easy. It would be easy. If it was just black and white, easy like that. Davis said he's pretty spot on. I agree, Davis. You are probably pretty spot on. And Brandon says, are you still sending books in to get graded right now? Absolutely, Brandon. I sent those 2 books in about 2 weeks ago and got them back fast-tracked. I'm sending another batch out right now of modern books. It says the turnaround time is 25 days, so I didn't even fast-track them. I will see how quick they are. So I sent out a modern submission, or like the top value submission or whatever, and they came back quicker than those ones, and these came back in like 2 weeks, and these were in like the next tier down. So really I wouldn't be paranoid. CGC is actually, they scheduled a signing, an in-house signing with Todd McFarlane. And another thing too is, I'm not trying to like promote CGC or sending your books in there. Do what you feel comfortable with. If you're paranoid right now, you may hold off. If it's just paranoia is going to get the best of you, hold off if you want to. But if you, they're staying open. Florida beaches like Jacksonville Beach are opening back up. So I think Florida is going to start opening back up. They've been able to maintain for some reason. They've been able to maintain an open status. So I don't know, or an essential status. Thanks for the video, Alex. Thank you so much. Jorge, I appreciate you, man. C. Woodard is in the house. C. Woodard, good to see you. Someone posted someone up here doing MegaCon in June. So going to submit for yellows there. Awesome, awesome. Jambo says, I think CGC is consistently pretty accurate, but they're human and everybody has good days and bad days. I would completely agree. I think CGC is really consistent. That's why I send books there. So I'm not doing this video, just as another disclaimer, I'm not doing this video saying like, I know better than CGC. I'm just saying that there is a window to where this book can either be a 6.5 or somebody else across the world could look at this book and say that's a 4.0. So it's just, there's a number of allowable defects, and that creates a window of where those books can be. And I'll show, I mean, it's one thing for me to go like this, hey, this is this and this is this. But if I share the screen, this will give the best example of what I'm talking about. So this is a 4.0 right here. There's a number of allowable defects. It goes all the way from here to here. That still intersects right here. If a book has this number of defects, it can be a fine plus, it can be a fine, it can be a fine minus, it can be a very good, it could be a very good plus, it could be a very good. So it can be anywhere in here, and it can either get a 4.0 or a 6 or a 7.0. I mean, geez Louise, there's a huge number of variance there. And that's where subjectivity and experience comes into play. For me, I don't have experience looking at these books all day, every day, grading these books. So for me, I look at this book and I say 15 defects, 4.0. That's all the experience I have is Overstreet. And so I don't have, and Overstreet and looking at other books. I think this book looks worse than this book, which is a 6.0. I think this book looks worse than this book, which is a 6.5. I think this book looks better than all of these books up here. I think this book has some more major defects. The spine looks better than that one, but it's got this big scratch in the cover. It doesn't go through the page, but it's got a big scratch. So I think this book looks better than that book, but then it's got that scratch. So where do I put that? You know, what do I do with that? I think this book looks better than both of them, and it got a better grade. I think the Green Lantern looks comparable to this 4.0 in the way that the spine, and there are similar color breaks along this side, along this edge. The backs look very similar. So the tools that I have are the books that I've got graded, eBay, looking at comparable books on eBay graded. I think I got that tip from Cougar Comics years and years ago. He said buy books in different grades. Absolutely, I think so. And that'll help you get graded or grade books in different grade ranges. That could help out with grading. Don't want to put words into Cougar's mouth, but you can definitely check out his channel. So like I said, the only tools that I have are online pictures, the books in hand that I have, and then the Overstreet. And so if I think this book looks lower than this book, I'm not going to say it's a 6.5. I'm going to say this is a 6.0 or lower. I think this book looks better. So this book is graded 6.5 white pages. This book doesn't look as good. To me, it's not. Now, they're not comparable. They're not the same book. If this was the same book, I can look at them and say like, wow, that for sure, these defects are less than these defects. So you have to be careful with looking at a black cover versus a green cover versus a yellow cover. There's lots of different things that are different. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. Hopefully you're having fun. Hopefully you like this video. If you're brand new here, thanks for being here. Jeff is talking about foxing. How does foxing count as a defect? Not sure on that. MegaCon in June. Let's see if there's anyone new in here. Luther Manning. Hey, Luther Manning. Good to see you. I was Dr. Von Chilla was here in earlier and was really appreciative of him stopping by. Miss you guys. Luther Manning, Dr. Von Chilla, Reaper Tate. Where are the live shows? You guys are one of the most entertaining, knowledgeable live shows. I miss watching you guys. What time is it? I don't know how long I've been going. I've been going for an hour. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Golden Card, John, good to see you, sir. Appreciate your friendship, John. Gomez is in the house as well. Good to see you guys. Golden Car said Hawkman 4. I submitted that one. That was in one of my second CGC submission. So it's hard to corral that bunch. Well, then you just go live. I want to see your Tuesday videos. I want to see your videos. Man, you're awesome. Davis Comic Finds. Cougar, thanks for being such an awesome guide and inspiration in this comic community. You've been doing this for a long time. So much respect for you. I've learned when I search how to grade comic books, or when I'm trying to brush up on my skills, I always look towards your videos. You've got great stuff. And Gomez says claim. Cajun Comics, thanks so much. You can watch it on the rewind, but good to see you, man. I really appreciate you guys being here. More unboxings, more CGC unboxings from Luther Manning. I appreciate it. Cougar is the professor for sure. Reaper Tate, Dr. Von Chilla of BS. Yeah, right. Bachelor of Science in grading books, man. Dude, you cannot self-deprecate because you are the man. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully this was helpful in explaining where my experience in grading comes from. This is grading mid-grade books for novice. I'm a novice grader, and I only have certain tools at my disposal. And so congrats on your grades, brother. Thank you so much. 7 boxes en route. No big deal. No big deal. 7 boxes. 7 boxes with 1 comic in each, or 7 boxes with 20 comics in each. You guys are awesome. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Didn't expect to go for an hour, but having fun, man. Having fun. 7 boxes. Everyone's impressed. Everyone's looking forward. 25 each. This guy's a maniac. Him and his homie, Mike, I believe. Mike is the other guy. Mike and Patrick just doing things the right way. Awesome. My son was like, Dad, you have a mustache now. I wore a hat because my hair is getting ridiculous. Now, no excuses, because my wife usually cuts my hair. So we're actually just being lazy. Mike Lord, no prize. Awesome guy. Mike is awesome, dude. Has amazing collection. Wheeler and dealer. Very, very experienced dude in the community. Selling must be great. Anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Woo! With that being said, I'm going to go rest, maybe. Read a comic book. That's what I'm going to go do. I'm reading the Punisher miniseries, the Mike Zeck Punisher miniseries. I know, man. I'm wearing a hat like the Doom 143. Tony Sanders, once again, thanks for the super chat, brother. Really do appreciate you, man. Such an awesome guy. Captain Kirk said, very informative video. I still know nothing. Oh my gosh, you're going to have to watch this back. Let's watch it back. Hey, call me and we'll watch it back. You've got my number. We text last night about this stuff. Golden Car is the auction today. Yeah, there's an auction today. Is it going on right now? There's an auction today on the Boyhead 7 for OMG Chris. So rest in peace, OMG Chris. I was going to do something for OMG Chris, and I just can't find out what I want to do. But the guy gave me, we did a kind of like a trade, an act of kindness. I sent him an act of kindness, and he sent me an act of kindness a couple years ago. I watched the video back, and man, I wish his video was still up, because I sent him a bunch of Ninja Turtle comics that I knew he was after Ninja Turtle, so I sent him a whole bunch of Ninja Turtle comics. I think his account got hacked years ago, and he sent me back a really cool Deadpool X-Force statue. And so I still have that. Was looking at the other day. I wanted to do like a review on it. I want to do a take one only, unedited, unscripted, take one only video. I just couldn't bring myself to it, man. OMG Chris was one of the biggest supporters in the community. He was always leaving comments, and I love that about him. And I always try to leave comments too. We had the same. We're kind of cut from the same cloth. Towards if you can say something nice, say it. I always tell that to my kids. Good morning, Paul. You're gonna have to watch this video back because I'm done with all the grading stuff. Grading for novices. I always tell my kids, and I tell my wife too, if you can say something nice to somebody, say it. Because you don't know like what they went through that day. You don't know what they're going through that week. But if you can encourage somebody, encourage them. If you can tell them they're awesome and you really appreciate what they're doing, tell them that. Like I appreciate everybody in the comments. I appreciate everybody making content, helping us through this crazy time. It's entertaining to watch, and I love normalcy. If you can do something nice for somebody, do it. And that's what OMG and I always talked about. I guarantee people in the chat have heard him say this before. He used to say, if you can give an A-OK, giving an A-OK is one of the best things you can do for somebody. It brightens their day. It's so nice. If you can give an A-OK, give it, because you will. There's no better feeling of watching somebody open a gift that you gave them and them really just enjoying it, brightening their day. So if you can give a gift, if you can give an A-OK, OMG Chris said, give it. If you can do it, if you're in the situation where you can give a gift, give it, because there's no better feeling than giving a gift to somebody. OMG Chris was always in the comments of videos, and he would simply just put, man, love the video. Thank you for making this video, or love the video. It didn't have to be huge detail. It didn't be like, that 6.5 looked like a 4.0 and I agree with you on the grade. Love those comments. I think those are awesome comments. Those are the kind of comments I make. But he would watch your video and simply put, love the video. Thanks for making the video, you know. And I thought that was great too. If you watch a video, leave a comment. Just let them know. Let them know that you watched it. Let them know that you're there. Sometimes it's just receiving the comment that's that the people appreciate. So if you can give an A-OK, give it, according to Chris, OMG Chris. If you can give an A-OK, give one. If you're watching a video, leave a comment. Let people know that you watched it. These are the things that I learned and agreed with OMG Chris. We're cut from the same cloth. One thing I look to, and I'm going to end with this. When tragedy strikes, when bad things happen, for me personally, now this is no reflection on you and how you live your life. Completely respect the way you live your life. And I would never push my agenda on you or your family or your loved ones, or never try to impose my beliefs. I'll just share my beliefs. And if you have questions, you ask me. But I look to faith. When bad things happen, like my wife had a tumor last year. She had a brain tumor and she had to have it removed. I immediately asked God to increase my faith. Lord, increase my faith in you. Know that you're in control. God has got a view from way high, and he can see down. He knows the future. He knows the situation. He can see what's going on. And so he's in the upper story. And from down in my view, I can only see certain things. And I can only see kind of what's in front of me sometimes. And that's the pain and the fear of my wife's tumor. She had a tumor and she had to have a major brain surgery. So what's the fear? I could only see the fear in that. So God, increase my faith that I'm not in control of this situation. And my pastor said, when I was so scared for my wife, he said, you know what? He goes, we believe that God loves us the most. He loves us more than human love is even capable of. And so he told me, you do realize that you're praying to God, you're worried, and you're asking God, love my wife and take care of her. He loved her first. He loves her more than you. So you don't have to pray those things. Just say, pray, Father God, increase my faith in you that you're going to take care of this. So that's my belief. And whatever your belief is awesome. If you ever have any questions about what I believe in, ask me. But don't hate me for it, because I don't hate you for your beliefs. And then another thing is for OMG Chris. Um, One of the biggest opportunities that we have in life, according to my faith and my belief, is that we have a chance at eternal life. If we believe and confess with our mouths that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior of our life. Sorry, guys, I don't preach like this often on YouTube. But if we confess and believe that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior of our life, we can have eternal life with God. And so I believe in an afterlife. I believe in a life with God in heaven. And so if Chris had faith in Jesus as Lord and Savior, according to my beliefs, he's in heaven right now. And that when we're sad here on earth, that God, how could this happen? God, this hurts. It's painful. Our friend is gone. Our friend is dead. Imagine the folks that were around Jesus when he got hung on the cross just a few weeks ago, 2,000 years ago, a few weeks ago. His friends were looking at him on the cross. His mother was looking at him. His brother was looking at him. The followers that were around were looking at the cross and said, "This hurts." With his beloved wife, absolutely, John. This hurts. It's so painful. God, this is so painful for us to see. This is so painful. You know what he had to watch? He had to watch his son die on the cross. He said, "I know this is painful. Life on earth, human emotions stink. That's why come up with me and be in heaven someday with me. And all this stuff, all this earthly stuff will be gone. Heaven on earth. That's it, you guys. That's it. Love you guys. Love my Lord. Yeah. Take care, you guys. If you have any questions on grading for novices, I'm your guy. I can help a novice grade a book. Not saying that it will be right, but I can help you. Thank you guys for watching. 30 in the chat. You guys are great. Appreciate you all. I'm really going to end this video because I could just go. We could start another video on a like a sermon. But anyways, take care, you guys. Just remember that those are my beliefs. If you have other beliefs, respect them. But I totally respect your beliefs. And if you ever have any questions, I'm here for you guys. You're awesome. Take care. God bless. And I'll talk to you on the next one. See you. Bye. I need to learn how to end this video.